You ain't got to sit there and text Lester all the time. Tell Flash I said hello.
I will.
So when you get that figured out, is the mouse
Hello.
Hey, we're about to get started.
Okay. Yeah. I hate that every year.
It's one of the most important jobs that you as a county commissioner have to do.
Hey, what? Take a break. I'm ready to lower it. As far as I know, we should. We want to keep the budget the same. That they'll lower the millage rate because my property values have gone up.
Pretty big deal, but overall, you're gonna be minus how many thousand?
Last year I lost 27,000.
Yeah.
Oh, it cost me. Where did I get this from? My salary?
She passed it out on Ray.
You don't have.
Well, ain't that just a nice thing to have? You're staying, right, Cliff? You're staying? I might need you in a minute.
I'll let you know that I was calling it equalization rate or something like that, but really what you're doing is saying you're gonna get the same revenue as last year, whenever they have up or down.
300 and some thousand.
Alrighty then.
All right, well, if Commissioner Ken is ready, we'll get started.
Well, you've already hit the gap. We're waiting on Hamlin.
All right, board, the first thing I want to talk about is the continuity of operations plans. It's an agreement that we have with Holmes County, pending your approval. I'd like to put on consent agenda for basically of emergency management. It's a COOP plan, continuity of operations. So if we lose the capacity to conduct emergency management operations out of Washington County, Holmes County facilities are able to accommodate us. We move over there, we start using their facilities, and then it's a reciprocal agreement. They can come over here in case the facility is located on Highway 90 in Bonneville there. So I'd like to be able to approve that plan if that's okay.
I like it, but let me ask one question.
Yes, sir.
I always like to be the one to throw a stick in the stove.
That's okay, sir.
Have you extended that far enough? What is the chances of Washington County getting wiped out from an emergency and Holmes County not being wiped out just the same?
Yeah, slim. I don't know about acts of God, but if a tornado runs through Wausau, then it's, we can move to Holmes County.
Okay, cool.
But we can entertain, like maybe going to Jackson County and asking if they would do the
Just
same.
wondering,
Yeah, sure.
just wondering.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Those kid plans are just always, they're just something to make you think.
Can you change the lettering on
It
this?
helps you prepare for, back in the late 90s when those first got started, we wasn't sure about all of it. We worked COOP plan after COOP plan, and
Sure.
you never think about it, but we're right here at the railroad track. We could easily lose everything we've got up here and have to move our total operations to Wausau if something happened to Wausau at the same time.
Well, I just remember when you had a disaster come in for the state, y'all didn't have the facility set up immediate to be able to accommodate what you had coming. And we're talking about the state agency, so, I mean,
We were pretty good,
yeah.
really were.
The next thing I have is the signature authority for the Public Works Director. Basically, I'm asking that we grant Mr. Tom Terrell, the authority to sign on behalf of the county in case I'm absent, either through work or incapacitated of some sort. So that way there'd be no delays in some time-critical documentation that the county has to give to outside agencies. So I'd like to be in the letter that I wrote, just to give that authority to Mr. Terrell. So if he becomes, if he's no longer employed by the board or moves, we'll reassess after that. But I'd hate to not be here when time cards are signed or a grant that needs a signature and we don't have someone on behalf of the county to do that.
Let me ask another question.
Yes, sir.
And I don't have any problems at all with Mr. Tom Terrell signing anything on behalf of the board, really don't.
Sure.
Have no hesitation. I wonder if it'd be better suited, just throwing this out here, if you wouldn't have the chairman do that, whoever the chairman may be.
So the only thing I can think of is if you're not a full-time commissioner that's going to be up at the annex every day or whatever the case may be, you may be the same predicament.
But then you have a
The
vice
fact
chair.
conference, we were all there.
Yeah. Well, besides that, sometimes you need a like the county administrator's signature as well as.
As opposed to, yeah, that's right.
You need both of them. So your chairman will wind up signing in two places. Not that had happened before too.
And next is the Sunny Hills mowing contract, which will be expiring. Basically, what we have is a few options and a few recommendations for you. My recommendation, the contract's going to expire, and then prior to, or I'm sorry, at the end of the month, ICA, who runs out of Tennessee, who runs the contract, they said that they don't have a problem going month to month with us until we figure out if we want to go long term or move it out, or whatever the case may be. And so, as we only have a couple more months left in the mowing cycle before the grass becomes dormant and things like that, then my recommendation would be to just continue on with the same company month to month until the board wants to reassess how they want to handle this contract. To wait until the next cycle. Until the next season, then we can certainly do so. But we do have another vendor that is interested in bidding, and so there'll be competing bids for this particular contract.
The contractor's willing to go month to month?
That's correct. And the prices, the prices are going to stay the same, in accordance with the contract that we have now.
Is everybody satisfied with what he's been doing?
There has been some complaints from the citizens and that some of the grass is not getting cut. So I've not verified that, but the answer to your question is yes, there has been complaints.
I went and played golf up there the other week, and I noticed some areas that there'd be some mowed here, and some missed here, and some mowed there, and it was like, there was no rhyme or reason to it. It was kind of like that, for whatever reason, they just didn't do it.
Well, they're using a subcontractor right now. They weren't at the beginning of this contract, but they're using a subcontractor. And I've seen them out there mowing. They're not doing as good a job.
I didn't think so personally, so I mean.
So I can go back and tell him, Mr. Dave, that, if the board if you decide you want to go month to month, I can tell him that, hey, but we're concerned about the quality of work. You need to make sure that if you subcontract this out, that you enforce the standards.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the month to month, but I do have an issue with the quality, so I
Sure.
mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's responsible for monitoring?
How are we doing like randomly auditing?
Yeah,
We're not.
we're not monitoring what they're doing.
Mr. Tom will take care of that.
He's like, what?
He already had it jotted down on his pad there.
He was already writing it down, I promise you. That'll be took care of now.
Your word.
So in accordance with the contract, the areas that are supposed to be mowed are listed in the contract. So if maybe some citizens aren't aware of the roadways that are contracted to be mowed, and they think that needs to be mowed as well, maybe a miscommunication there.
I was on Elkham, and it would be mowed, not mowed,
Yeah, Elkham-
mowed, not mowed, and then the other side would be straight mowed. And there was no reason, I mean, you'd have to purposely miss that section
Sure.
to go around it and start over. It wasn't like they mowed up to a point and just hadn't,
I think they came back to Elkham, because
Well,
what they do is, because I just lived on.
You fussed at them and they came back.
I do fuss at them, because because I live down there, so I know, so that like one morning they'll mow one side, and then they'll come back like next week. But the problem is once they get Elkham mowed, Sunny Hills Boulevard's already grown up, so it looks like they have it mowed down there. And so I think they're going to do a better job now that we've been communicating with Wendy Chambers about that.
We want to get every bang for our buck.
I can't believe that we've got a contract in place and we're not monitoring to see that they're performing when we pay.
We never had a project manager. We've got one. Mr. Tom. Mr. T.
He just doesn't know what he signed up
Shaking his
for.
head like, what?
I mean, we can't depend on.
Tom, you better sit close to the front. You're giving jobs you don't even know about.
You need a recorder, Tom.
But we'll express our concerns that they need to make sure that we're doing the right thing, or they are doing a better quality.
Gary?
Some of us mow our own median.
Well, we're not reimbursing.
No, I don't. I'm not asking for that.
Out of self-defense.
I mow mine every other week, just so it makes the neighborhood look nice.
You know what? That's part of taking ownership of your neighborhood. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
Good job.
but it's supposed to be done by them.
Help them out.
All right, moving on, the forestry 50/50 grant that was approved, we received the monies for that. So it's $3,000, $3,084, and we'll pay $1,542 for that. It's going to go buy 6 motor turbo digital radios, and we'll get those distributed to Caryville and Sunny Hills.
Which they already have in their budget, right?
That's correct. And that's all I have.
No.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I was gonna put this under Hank's time because he's gonna have to do it if we decide. I've been approached by a citizen that has a dirt pit that actually connects to ours and is interested in selling it. And I didn't know if the board was interested in letting Hank and Cliff look into it, or exactly which direction y'all wanted to go on that. But I've been called 2 or 3 times, and he wanted me to just put it to y'all and just see what y'all thought.
Connects with which bit?
Moon Sea, what,
Gilbert.
I don't know how we couldn't look at it.
We'll look at it.
we'll just
I'll
have
get
to-
with Cliff, and we'll meet Cliff and Tom. We'll set up a date and a time to go, and then I'll get the contact information from you, and we'll contact that individual.
I mean, from what they say, there's actually more dirt in that pit than in the last, and then if it connects, then we can take out the buffers, and so we'll gain that.
And you know what? Somebody owns some property or even around that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for sale.
Right.
And we talked last week.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at maybe the permitting might be easier, or the.
It's much easier.
Yeah, so.
To get an extension rather than a new permit.
So I will, I'll get that contact information from you and set up a date and time with Cliff and Tom. We'll go.
I don't know nothing about dirt, so y'all please take care of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Anything else, Hank?
No, sir.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. I had the millage rate under mine. It's time for us to start looking at that and making a decision on whether we want to stay the same. There's some information on the changes that could be taken and the differences that it would allow. We'd like to go ahead and get this set before the end of the month, so the next meeting would be good if we could do that. You all have your budgets to look at, and it was based on what we currently have, the 9.25. And I'll look into that, and if you think you're ready to agree that you want to keep it the same, or if you think you want to make some changes, you can set a workshop next week or as soon as possible. You just need to have the definite figure by August 2nd.
Laura said the rollback rate is an increase. And I don't know, I can't understand that, because just based on some property I have, the property values, I'm paying more. My property values have increased, the assessed values that Gil Carter does, which scares me a little bit. Not just for me, but this is what happened before. As soon as the economy even looks like it's turning around, all of a sudden these property values start escalating. And like Sunny Hills, it escalated to the point where people couldn't afford the property anymore, they just let it go back. Hence the county's got 300 something lots. But I can't understand, if property values are increasing, why do we need to increase the millage? We ought to be able to decrease the millage. What am I not seeing there?
Where some property values going up, some of them are actually still falling.
I don't have that.
You have the prime property, so yours is going up.
You have the good
And
lots.
that's,
Yeah,
and all of it in a nutshell, that's not a joke.
great investments there.
That's not
Great
a,
investment.
I mean, that's not a joke. I mean, that's what's happening. If somebody's is going up and you're still reducing money, somebody else's is going down.
Well, I want that.
No, you don't, because it's not as attractive.
Alan, I heard it for the school board meeting, so it's hearsay, that a lot of the Sunny Hills lots went down this year. So that was the reason for the increase in the rollback was a lot of specifically a lot of the Sunny Hills lots he decreased, while a lot of other property owners he increased. But the Sunny Hills were the cause, is what I've understood.
Okay. That's good, that's what I need that kind of information, Jeff, I think, because I couldn't understand it. I looked at mine either stayed the same or increased. And then, I'm seeing that we need to increase millage rate. And I'm like, really, based on what I have, you got to be able to decrease the millage rate. So, thank you, Jeff.
Right now, just to get clarification, Ms. Laura, is we're at 9.2520, which brings in a revenue of $7,624,133,000.
No, that was last year.
That's the year we're in.
That's where we're at right now.
The current.
That's correct, and that's the budget that we're working on. So that 9.2520 is the current millage rate that we're operating on. Anybody dispute that? Okay. Which generates $7,624,133. That's the number that I feel like minimum that we need to be bringing in this next year, next budget year, minimum, to leave everything the same as they are now, currently. We've got to have that revenue generated.
I can figure the rate to make it figure that as close as possible.
That's what the rollback is.
It's pretty
The
close.
rollback is close. I think it was,
No.
Yeah, the rollback's within 20.
yeah, 23,000.
And I would like to see it at 9. Take off the 2520,
Just 9.
just 9.
Well, maybe we do need to have a workshop.
It sounds like it.
We can go ahead and schedule that as soon as possible.
But-
Everybody good with that?
But let me ask a question. I just want the consensus. Are y'all wanting to reduce? Now, we have a budget we're looking at, and I just got my book yesterday for the first time, heard the first speak of it. Are y'all wanting to reduce the revenue that we're bringing in by reducing the millage rate to 9.0, or do y'all want to leave it the same? I recognize that we're looking at $24,000 difference also. Do y'all want to get it back to the 7,624,133, or do y'all want the additional $24,000 income, or do y'all want to reduce it by 0.25%? And I don't know how much less that would be.
That's the number I want.
But it's going to be less. It's going to be less than the 7.6. So you're going to have to reduce your budget coming in, and you've already put on additional staff that we're going to have to be looking.
I would just like to look at it and see if it can't be done. I mean, maybe not the whole thing, maybe part of it, I don't know. But I definitely don't want to go up.
I don't want to go up either.
Now, if you use the rollback
We all agree
rate,
on that.
Yeah.
it will have to be advertised as a tax increase.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking at the rollback. I'm through with that. That was yesterday's news.
You're saying you want to go less than 9.2520, Charles?
If we could, I mean, if we can't, then that's fine. But I mean, I would like to give it the best effort we possibly can, and it don't even have to go all the way to 9. If it goes down a point, I don't care. But I want it to go down. Can't help it.
I'll do some different scenarios.
Thank you. We'll try to hold a special meeting next week if that will work with everybody.
We can do next week and go all the way to maybe August the 1st.
I like it, Charles. Thank you for bringing that up. I do. I like it.
Well, listen, we got a certain sector of this county that pays all the daggum taxes, and we have a certain sector that don't pay any. And I want to take some of the burden off of them best I can, and sooner or later we get something in play to where some of the rest of them can kind of pick up the rest of the slack.
Force it.
Well, we'll work on it. We got time.
Rest of your life, right?
Well, that could be today, but
Another thing to keep in mind is once you set that initial rate,
Your stuff.
you can actually go down,
You can go back.
but you can't go up.
Can't go up.
Once you set it, you can go up, it's just very expensive.
When do we have to set that, August?
August
Has to
2nd.
be by
August the 4th, I have to have it back together.
So technically, next week, we could set the proposed millage
At our meeting.
at our current rate.
I have no issue, the
And then we can work on it from
9.2520,
there.
Sure.
Do we need to do that?
we could put that
I
on
just
the,
think that would alleviate having to have a special
Yeah.
meeting right away.
and then when we're arguing about the rest of that, we see if we can't get it.
At least that way there, we know we're not gonna go over where we're
But
at.
you're talking about 9.2520. You're not
Yeah.
talking about going
I
back
ain't
to the
talking
road.
about, no, cause then you gotta advertise that you're increasing.
Well, you would be.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm not,
I won't
I'm
do that.
no, I'm not increasing.
We're not gonna advertise it, and we're still gonna increase yours.
I know it. I don't understand.
So you wanna
You
put that on the
know, our friends, I don't understand it.
We can put that on the consent, can't we?
And that's something on consent, hold on.
Oh,
But
Lord.
you're gonna bring us back another figure, cutting it 0.5% like you wanted maybe.
Well, but see,
quarter.
he said we could go down with no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can meet
And I
the
thought
full
we had
month of
all agreed,
August.
I thought we had all agreed that the 9.252 was good.
You're gonna be-
I agree with Charles, I wouldn't want to,
You're
I
gonna
wanna,
be
I
re-
dang sure don't wanna go above that. I
You're
would
gonna be
set that
reducing your income.
By 24 grand or 25 or something like that.
47.
Well, you'd have to do a lot of more, you'd have to do more research in terms of non-recurring funding to help fill that gap,
If you leave things the same.
or go down, correct?
So if we left the millage rate at 9.2520, how much less revenue are you gonna be bringing in?
42,000.
42,661.
It's on the first line at the bottom.
So if we put that on the consent agenda, that becomes the millage, at what point will we decide, okay, we don't wanna do that, we want another meeting? What will have to happen to spark another meeting?
Well, you don't, you set your proposed, and then in, when is it?
When we hold our tentative budget hearing, it could be changed then.
When does the,
September.
when does the, that first
September.
proposed notice go out to the taxpayers? It's out on the set millage, isn't it?
That's,
I don't
The
know.
first
I know
notice
our
isn't
office
set.
has to have it by August 4th. We have to give that to them.
Mhm.
by
I think they
August
set
4th.
don't they set the trim rolls for that first proposed millage? That's why if you raise it, you have to resend the trim rolls. That's what's so expensive.
right.
Yeah, so when we send them out, let's send out whatever we're gonna send out. Unless we're gonna draw, you know. Because then if we come back, and we change it again, the notices will go out again, right?
If they go up.
If they go up, not if they go down?
If you go up, you have to resend. I think if they go down, you're fine.
It's just proposed,
Yeah.
so it can go down.
Yeah, so if we do the proposed at the 9.252, and then we work our rear ends
It'll
off
just get
and,
cheaper.
and,
It'll
and,
get a
and
different-
knock it off some,
Okay.
whatever it is.
So just so we're all on board, and I happen to agree with you. But this board right now, when you look over that budget, you know right now, if you go in there and set it at 9.2520, and I agree with y'all, that you've got to reduce your budget right now by the $42,661 less income coming in, you're going to have to reduce that budget by that already.
Sheriff will give it to us.
And you want to do more. And I'm with it. And
Well, technically, we'll be in the new courthouse, so we'll have some savings there, because we won't be paying extra maintenance. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can look at.
I'm with
I'm
you.
good for that. Unless anybody's
Okay, I'm good.
is contrary, let's just go ahead and set, we'll do that as consent. We'll just set the proposed
Keep it the
millage
same.
at the same rate.
Okay, also, last thing, I just checked on the email that we discussed earlier about the FEMA funds available. It was sent out on the 21st, and I was assuming it was sent to everyone. It was sent to the chairman and Mr. Hamilton and myself. And so we have forwarded that email so that all of you will have that. It's just some information on the numbers that we do have available.
If I had my iPad, I could read that, but
Of course.
How could,
Don't worry.
we're out here in public in front of everybody, how could that happen that you're sending the chairman something that you're not sending to the rest of the board? How could that happen?
I'll just.
Please get that fixed. Please get that fixed. I just,
Certainly.
it
I'm
just,
sure it's happened in the past, but we'll
it
certainly try to
does.
address that.
And it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating.
As the chairman, he represents the board, and so that's
Very
why
well,
that was sent.
represents the board very well.
Agreed.
Anything else,
It
Ms.
has
Laura
been
C?
sent to you, Mr. Abbott, this morning. I'm good, thank you.
Madam Deputy,
I don't have anything.
if, in lieu of Hank dismissing us, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I'm not saying you don't represent us well.
I'm just
Watch
saying.
us where to catch up. That's right.
I've got bunches and bunches. Well, I got that budget on good. Some better.
Mr. Brock,
We should really, but that ain't no
Hey.
joke. When everybody gets in the new board, we
hey,
should.
we're gonna get you
Now, as long as they're
a
gonna.
proposed budget put together, and we'll get it put in your box, and Jackie will call whenever it's ready to be picked up, okay?
Information brought.
Of the proposed budget.